how to make homemade cajeta. Cajeta is Mexican caramel, and I make mine using my raw goat's milk. You've made it a couple of times in the past and it's always turned out pretty good. So today I thought I'd just walk you through the steps of making it. It takes time because it has to cook for a long time, but I'm going to show you how to start it, and then once it's done I'll come back and follow up with the finished product so you can see what it looks like. So for this recipe you need 2 quarts or half a gallon of milk, and like I said, I use the raw goat's milk. And I've already put that in my crock pot, and I've got this crock pot set to high, and you're going to cook this on high until your sugar dissolves. So half a gallon of milk, and to that we're going to add 2 cups of sugar, and this is a half of a cup measuring spoon, so there's 1. We're going to do 4 of these for 2 cups. 2, 3, and 1 more makes 2 cups. Okay. So that's all the sugar we need. Now, this is some of my homemade vanilla extract. Very simple to make. I've got about 5 vanilla beans in this bottle. Some recipes call for vodka. I used spiced rum in mine because I wanted my vanilla to have a little bit more flavor to it. So, but I've been using this. I started this back in December of 2019. So it has been over 6 months now, so I'm starting to use this. You can let it sit up to a year, but you can use it as soon as 6 months. I'm going to do a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you can add more or less to your liking. Okay, so that's the vanilla. Alright. And you don't have to worry about the alcohol in the vanilla extract. If you look on a bottle of store-bought vanilla extract, you'll see it says alcohol in it. So don't think we're getting tipsy over here, because we're not. But it does have alcohol in it. It calls for either a teaspoon or a dash of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, or a cinnamon stick. And so I use the cinnamon stick. And you can take this out once it's done, but it gives the cajeta the cinnamon flavor. So we pop that in there, and I'm going to give this a stir. Once you get this heated up enough to where the sugar is melted, then you're going to add in a tablespoon of water mixed with a teaspoon of baking soda. You're going to mix that up really well. And this is going to be kind of a thickening agent. As it cooks down, this helps it to thicken up. So you're going to mix that really well. Okay. And just kind of pour that in there. I've just added in the baking soda mixture, so I want to make sure everything's mixed really well, because that's your thickening agent. So once we do this, we're going to keep cooking it on high. We're going to come back and stir it ever so often, just so that you keep it mixed around. You don't want it to scorch, because it is milk. We're doing this in a slow cooker, like I said to begin with. You can do this on the stove, but that requires you to stand there and constantly stir it because it's cooking at a higher temperature. Your slow cooker is going to slow cook it. It takes about 12 hours for this to get to the point, 12 to 15 hours to get to that really thick caramel-like consistency. And I use this with my homemade goat's milk yogurt to add a little sweetness to it. And it's really good. You could put it on pancakes. You could use it for whatever you use caramel sauce on. Put it on ice cream, that kind of thing. It's really simple to make. So we'd want to leave it uncovered and let it reduce down and caramelize. And I'll be back to show you what the finished product looks like. It's been about 8 hours of roundabout since we started it in our slow cooker. Just kind of want to give you an update as we go along. Like I said, it's going to take about 12 hours for this to get completely done. I have been stirring it on occasion, but I want to let you see what the color of it looks now at about 8 hours, so you can know where yours will be at this time. As you can see, it's getting that nice caramel brown color. We're just now pretty much waiting for it to thicken up. You can see where it's caramelizing on the side of your crock pot. Still pretty loose at this point, but it is cooked down a whole lot. So we're just going to let this continue to cook for about another 4 hours. At that point, we'll just let it cool down and strain it, and then put it in a jar to keep in the refrigerator. So, but I'll update you as well when we get to that point, so you can see how thick it will be when it is actually done. So what I'm going to do this morning, I want you to see the consistency of this. See how thick it ended up being? Now I have not strained this yet. I'm getting ready to do that. You should get at least a quart jar out of that half a gallon of milk that we did. So basically what I have is a strainer. I have my funnel to put it in my jar, and I have a 1 quart glass mason jar. So this is nice and cooled down, so there's no worries about getting burned. We're going to do this slowly because it is going to be kind of messy, and we do need to allow it to strain through the strainer. We're just getting all the larger clumps from where it cooked down, so we have a nice smooth caramel sauce. And sometimes I help it along by just moving it around in the strainer with a spatula, just kind of working it through. This takes a little time, but it's so worth the wait. It's really easy to make. And if you don't want to wait the full 12 hours to let it cook down, you could always do the stovetop method, but you do have to take the time and just watch that pot carefully so you don't scorch it and burn it. It only takes a couple of hours, but you do have to keep a really close eye on it. I like this method because I can just pretty much let it do its thing during the course of the day and go about my day and do other things, and just give it a good stir now and then on my way back and forth. It's pretty much like anything else you put in a crock pot, and you can let it go and it take care of itself. Do this very carefully. And now we're just going to put a lid on our jar. And there you have 1 jar of CAJETA, or Mexican caramel sauce. And you see how it coats that jar. That is some good stuff, y'all. One more quick addition. I want to show you how I put this yogurt together when I use my CAJETA. And like I said, I have this for breakfast just about every day. It's a good go-to for work. So I'll take a little bit of my CAJETA, put it in the bottom. Now I don't normally use a jar this big. There's no way I could eat that much at one sitting. But put a little bit of the CAJETA. And then this is some of my last batch of homemade yogurt. Bring that in. Alright. And then I just drizzle a little bit more of the CAJETA over top. Doesn't take very much. Top it off with a few walnuts. Or you could use granola, you could use fruit, whatever you have on hand. And this breakfast in the jar. It's almost like eating ice cream, but better for you. Enjoy!